Hello everyone and welcome to Reignite. I'm Cathy Grant. Welcome to you all. Now, I'm not going to do any waffle here because I can't bear waffle. We're going to jump straight in and meet our fabulous guest today. We are celebrating two releases. Last week was the release of the single, Manchester Rain, that I cannot get out of my head. It's amazing. And the upcoming release of Sonics in the Soul. Who are we talking about? We are talking about the Buzzcocks, and we are delighted today to welcome from the Buzzcocks Mr. Steve Diggle. Welcome to Reignite, Steve.
Lovely to be here, Kath. Really nice, yeah.
Lovely to have you here, mate. Mm-hmm. We were chatting before, and I was just going to ask you what your weather's like and how you coped with the summer and that searing heat. Are you a lover of it, or are you enjoying this rain we've got now?
No, I love the heat, really. I've enjoyed it, you know. I mean, there was those people moaning and on the news going, "Oh, it's nearly 40 degrees," but it only lasted a couple of weeks, you know. But it's been lovely and hot. I love the summer, you know. I think I'm more creative when it gets a bit colder, though, but I do love the summer, you know. I can sit there like an iguana and not move for ages, you know, because we only get a short spell of it. So I like the heat, and also a couple of weeks ago I was in Greece, you know, so it was hot out there. It was hot.
I saw that. I think you posted on your social medias.
Yeah. So I do like the hot weather, you know.
Yeah.
I can't imagine going away on holidays to some freezing country or like Iceland or somewhere if it's freezing. You know, that was a fun.
No. But the thing is, we're Brits, and people wouldn't have been happy if they hadn't been moaning about the weather, would they?
No, it's the classic thing. They're moaning it was too hot all the time. Now they're moaning it's raining, you know. But we wouldn't have any other way, would we, really?
Definitely
I was
not.
Outside the pub last night, watching the rain, having a cigarette in this shelter, and it's like, you know, the leaves are falling. I thought, I'm back in London now, you know.
Yeah.
It's not Greece, you know.
Definitely.
But it was nice.
No. Yeah. Nice, yeah. I think, yeah. But it's funny. I was thinking about this summer, and I was thinking, last time it was like this, we've been talking, 76, which I think we all remember 76.
Absolutely, yeah.
Really? The dawn of Steve Diggle and the Buzzcocks.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird how it's come full circle, hasn't it? Because in 76, that was a hot summer. I remember it well. I mean, it was really hot. And at the beginning of 76, I met the others. I forget when it was now. Maybe about May or June I'd met them or something like that. But, you know, and then it got hotter because suddenly we brought the Sex Pistols to Manchester, and then we opened up for them on the second one. So, as well as the sun and all that being in there, the punk rock thermometer went off the scale, you know, exploded.
Absolutely, it did.
So it was a very hot summer. Suddenly had the Sex Pistols, Buzzcocks, Clash, The Jam, and The Damned, you know. That was the nucleus in 76 in the early part of it.
Definitely. But we can't then, because I know a lot of people watching will know about the Buzzcocks, and they'll know the history of the Buzzcocks and the amazing body of work. But I've seen some people in the chat, hello, welcome to everyone in the live chat, who may not be as familiar as we are with the Buzzcocks. So I would love for you to share the story of how you actually ended up joining the Buzzcocks.
Yeah. Well, you forget there's some people are still young, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was sort of playing the band with a couple of kids around the corner, but they had jobs, and I thought they don't mean it, you know. And I'd written this song, Fast Cars, and we was doing a couple of covers. I think we did Black Sabbath's Paranoid, and we did the guy that opened 5-string guitar, so we did Brown Sugar, I think, a couple of things. But anyway, I wanted to write my own things. So I had this song, Fast Cars, and I wanted to write other stuff in there. But so I thought I'll phone somebody out of the paper, and I said, I spoke to someone on the phone, and I said, I'll meet you outside the Free Trade Hall in Manchester, because there's a lovely pub called Cox's Bar around the corner. That used to be the original Boddington's beer before it went ghastly and corporate. So I'm still outside the Free Trade Hall, and there's a guy in a leather suit there, you know, like Elvis, the comeback tour. And he said that inside the Sex Pistols, I said, I know that, man, but, you know, I'm forming my own band, you know. And he said, no, you don't understand it inside. And I thought, I didn't mention anything about this, you know. And he said, they play the Who substitute as well. I'm like, well, I mean, but I thought, I didn't know anything about this. So I followed him in, and Pete Shelley was collecting tickets on the door. And they was expecting somebody else. So I said a few words to him, and I said, I'll see you in the bar. Well, eventually he came up, and I thought there's certain things I'd said on the phone and certain things he had, but I thought, we're talking at cross purposes here, certain things I didn't say. And he thought, this is weird. Well, we got on really well. So, and then he introduced me to Howard, who was doing the lights. So the person they were supposed to meet, the person I was supposed to meet, they're still probably there waiting. We never met the people we were supposed to meet. They're probably still outside the free room. So I met them by default, you know. Or luckily enough, they met me, really. And that's how it happened. So, and then the next day, we all got together and plugged into a tiny little amp. I was singing, and there was 2 guitars in there. And it was all fast, like Boredom and Orgasm Addict and all that, you know. I thought, this sounds terrible. To quote Yates, a terrible beauty was born, but it sounded amazing, you know. You haven't heard anything like it, really. I think Ramones has come out, but it had that Buzzcock sound, you know. And it was fast and ragged and rough and all kinds of magical things. So, you know, that's how we started from all that. So I kind of want Malcolm McLaren away. If I'd have chosen another pub or walked over the other side of the road, I would have listened. Funnily enough, I went to his funeral in Great Portland Street, was at a church there.
Oh, yeah.
And I was at the funeral, and I thought, do you know what? I owe him a lot, really. In fact, if he hadn't said come inside, I would have probably not been here. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I've kind of forgotten, the equations.
That's the thing. He's credited, obviously, with the Sex Pistols, but not that many people know about the Buzzcocks and how, if without him, that would never have happened either.
Yeah. Well, he knows about it. He remembers, because when the Pistols came back and that, we used to take them to a pub called Tommy Duck's, and it had all knickers stapled on the wall, all nicotine stained from the smoke, and it had a coffin in there, you know. It's like a regular pub, and they loved it in there, you know. Really, in the early days, they loved that pub, you know. And so we used to hang out with them a bit in those days, you know, when they'd come to town. But Malcolm does remember that story, you know.
Yeah.
And I met his son once or twice, what's he called, Joe. And he said, oh, yeah, I've heard about that story and that. So, because I thought they didn't know, really, you know what I mean? I was just some kid they'd introduced and forgot all about it. But,
yeah.
You know, I've never been in the right place at the right time in my life, you know, but somehow my life was on course. Because I was a conscientious objector to work, sitting songwriting at home for 3 years on the dole, and that happened. Amazing. And so often my songs really have a little bit of that in, you know, that hope and inspiration. And just when you think everything's impossible, things do happen, you know.
That's the thing, isn't it? You never know the twists and turns that are coming next.
No, I wasn't really set on being in a band or something. I lost my scooter license and spent a weekend in jail. So I thought, I'm grounded to the pub and this fucking old Spanish guitar. So I thought I might as well do a bit of music. But the amazing thing about the other thing, about this £6 Spanish guitar, it should have been hung on the wall as an ornament, really. So I'd tune it up, and as soon as you struck the strings, it went out of tune all the time. It was that bad and cheap. So I got tired of tuning up. So I learned to play Beethoven's Ninth on one string and a bit on the other. I thought, fuck it, I can hardly play, but I can play Beethoven's Ninth. Oh, to joy, on one string and a bit on the other. So from there, you know, I started doing riffs on like 2 strings and a bit, you know, minimalist stuff. If I had a good guitar, I would have been playing more chords, man. So, and then years later, you know, I was thinking, often in Buzzcocks riffs are very simple, like motifs outside of the song in a way, and a lot of it comes from the fact I had that cheap guitar. If I'd have had a posh guitar, I probably wouldn't have done that. Like all the other rich kids over at South Manchester had, you know. They'd come into the record shop or the music shop, and their dad would buy them a Les Paul, a PA, and all that. We could barely. And then you'd see him again, and they go, "Oh no, I've sold that Les Paul for a pair of skis. I didn't get on," you know. Those kind of people, you thought they don't mean it either, you know. But I didn't have all that. I had that £6 guitar for a bit. But if to pass on to anyone, in the face of adversity, once again, the facts on a couple of strings a bit more, I learned to do all these riffs and stuff. At the time, I thought it was hard done to. Like, fuck, if I had one up. But it just shows you, and it took me a few years to realise where that come from. You know?
Yeah.
And if that's a bit of inspiration to one, and you see, they always tell you need this and you need that and all that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
All the equipment, the most expensive. Well, I wrote this new album on a cassette player.
A cassette player? Oh my God. Do you know what? That was something I was going to ask you about later on, because I've got loads of 24-track
machines here and all that shit, but it's like, fuck that. I've learned to do it in my head, really. You know, rather than mess around. Oh, get a bit of this going, or get a bit of that, you know. So, something you learn to do less of is stop messing with the buttons and that. Try and keep it on the bottom of the song.
Yeah, exactly. So, but sorry, go on.
So I was just saying, another inspiration, you know, you don't need saving up for fucking home recording studios and all that other stuff. I mean, I knew I was going in a recording studio, but there's so much of the picture you can paint in your mind of the bits before you go in, you know. All that other stuff takes your eye off the ball, really, you know. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, don't mess with switches and noises and trying to make it sound this and that and the other. Yeah, and it's like it's either good or it's not. You know what I mean? That's it. You can mess around with stuff as much as you like, but if the basics aren't there to start with, well, everything sounds good on a computer. It's all sound candy, you know. That's what these major radio stations play all the time. You think sound candy. If you take the strings off and all the other little things, it's fuck all there. Some middle class twaddle. Some middle class idiot in the middle of a computer trying to tell you he's upset about his mummy or something. Well, that ain't no God doing. Or his mummy's eyeing his underpants and going, be careful on that tour bus. Well, you mentioned radio there. I saw on your Insta story the other day, was it Elton John's Rocket Hour? Is that a radio channel, a radio thing that he does? He played Manchester Rain. He played Senses Out of Control, the first one off this, which is out of control. And the amazing thing, I met Elton years ago, hanging out with him in Vegas, funny enough. And, you know, I was invited to the show and all that. And we went to the after shows, and a bloke kept going, can you come with me, sir? And I thought, you see, when Elton comes, they want us out. Anyway, I sent him some rickety stairs, and he said, Sir Elton's ready for you now. And we had a good chat, you know. But anyway, going back to his show, I see he has that radio show and stuff. And thing is, like a lot of radio stations, the producer does the playlist, you know, somebody else apart from the DJ on these things. And but he picks his own music, and nobody sent him that song, and he found it himself, which I thought was amazing, you know. I thought Elton finds his own stuff, you know, and he found that song, and we got an email from his radio people. Elton's going to play it in Los Angeles on Saturday, and it'll be all over America and all around the world, you know, on his radio show. But that was really nice. I thought, not just us, he must do it all the time, you know, he loves music, and he picks it, you know. Don't just sit there and let everybody go to work, which to me blew my, you know, I think that's really good. He does mention us in his book as well, he liked the Buzzcocks, and I think the Clash. I think he didn't go on well with the Pistols, but that's not my problem, you know. Not me that was selling the butter.
Oh God, I'd forgotten about that advert.
Oh no, let's not go there.
So talking as we are, we're sliding into talk about the album, because obviously Manchester Rain came out last Friday, and damn you, Steve Diggle, I cannot get that blasted song out of my head. It's in there now and it will not go away. Guys, I've put the link to Manchester Rain, which is on the Buzzcocks YouTube channel. I've put it in the show notes. So if you want a song that you will not be able to get out of your head, when we finish this show, click on the link and it will take you over there. Listen to Manchester Rain. It's amazing. But in addition to that, we have got, was it September the 23rd? We've got the album Sonics coming out, Sonics and the Soul.
Yeah.
And that's the first one you've written since we lost Pete. So the one thing I wanted to say, well, there's a couple of questions related
COVID.
to that.
So I would say the songs just catches COVID, you know. But the Manchester Rain, the Manchester Rain's a metaphorical rain, you know what I mean? People keep going like, you know, because does
it always rain in Manchester?
It rains everywhere. We've been doing it live, and I've changed it sometimes. When we do Glasgow, I'd slip a verse, stand in the Glasgow rain, or Newcastle, or fucking Kent rain, you know. It works for them all, you know. But the importance of that one was when we had the first single out post Pete, Got to Get Better and stuff. We did a tour. Now, I was in Manchester, and it was pouring with rain on a Sunday night. And these kids at the stage door, and they said, will you sign this, Steve, and all that stuff. And they were saying, I'm going to start back. We're going to start band. And I looked at them, was getting wet through, and I was having a chat. I thought that was me 40-odd years ago, you know. They're saying they're going to start a band, and they had hopes and dreams. And so a lot of it's about that. But, you know, so it's the metaphorical rain. That, you know, all the things that are against you or come your way, you know, to try and stop you or in your way somewhere. And but also it's more about finding yourself than being famous, you know. It's about a bit of self-realization, finding who you are and all that as well, you know. That Kierkegaard moment of realization, standing in a Manchester rain. And if you can find yourself to deal with yourself in life, I think that's really important, really, you know. It's not about the fame and that, it's about, you know, the day-to-day living, dealing with yourself, you know. So many people lose their minds and all the rest of it, you know. So it's all about that. So there's that romantic notion of me looking at them kids and thinking that was me 40 years ago, you know. So the song had a bit of flavour as well. You know? But it does rain in Manchester a bit, yeah. That's why I moved to London.
Yeah, there you go.
I love Manchester. It was for different. Even as a kid, I used to think it was always sunny in London, you know, when you looked at the map in Manchester on the TV.
Yeah.
I thought those Romans knew why they were building London near me. But it wasn't for that I moved, it was for other reasons, romantic reasons.
What did the Romans ever give us? Well, they give us roads. Anyway, sorry. But I was going to ask you a couple of things, actually. One of them is, obviously, after Pete passed away, did you ever have a point where you thought you wouldn't carry on? And the other thing is, how different was it writing this album? And how difficult in a way was it? How different did it feel doing it without Pete? Because you were like a bit of an old married couple, weren't you?
Oh, we were, yeah. Well, that's it. Apart from the music side, we was good mates and that, you know. When I first met him, I thought he stays in a pub and has a drink, so do I. The bass player and drummer used to go home after 1 or 2, you know. We'd do 8, and I thought, fucking hell, he's only small, he's got 8 pints in him, you know. But we used to have a lot of discourse and talk and all that stuff. So, but it's kind of like it's not that much different, really, because he used to write his songs, I'd write mine, and then we'd take them into the rehearsal room to the bass player and drummer and go, it goes like this, you know. And so he did a lot of off-the-ball work, and so did I. And then when you put it to the band, it creates that extra magic. So you're still kind of on your own a bit. And then the more he got on with different albums, you do a bit more separately anyway. I mean, sometimes on the last couple of albums, I said, look, I don't need to know the chords. You go in and do 10 songs with the guys in the studio, then I'll take them in and do 10 with me, yeah. Plus, so I've written about 60 songs for Buzzcocks and about 80 songs of my solo stuff. I had a band playing convenience and a lot of solo on. So I'm used to doing albums and stuff. But I had to kind of focus on doing the album rather than think of Pete, you know. I mean, I went through a lot of pain for about 2 years, you know. But occasionally he'd come back and all this stuff. But I was in a car accident when I was 17 and my best mate died then. So when I was 17, I thought, I should have died in a car because it was careering all over the road. The driver didn't have a license or anything else, the whole thing. And I thought, I'm going to die with 3 of us in the back of a helmet. And then it careered off the road. And when I opened eyes, it demolished the petrol pump. I thought it should have gone up in flames, you know. So I was all lucky. And so when I got out, my mate was down the floor and the guy used to look at him again. All his head was split up. So that learned me a big lesson about life. I thought, I know the meaning of death now. Now I know the meaning of life. I'm going to live it, you know, because that's how quick you can go. So when it comes to my dad dying and then Pete, I think I've got the mechanism of it now, you know. And you can't bring them back. You can cry, weep, moan, and do anything you can. It's a fact of life, you know. Darwin's theory of evolution. You know, a swan comes in, then it goes out, and you never see it. And that's what we're all passing through. So there's all that bit about it. So I had to approach it like the First World War. If a man goes down, don't stop. You've got to carry on. And that's what I had to do for my own sanity. I couldn't have gone in the studio weeping and moaning about Pete, you know. No. I'd done a lot of that. So I had to focus on the album. So then the other thing, I thought, I couldn't even listen to the records really because I thought his voice, you know, really upset me. I thought, that's my mate and he's gone, you know. So as I was writing, I thought I'd better take some classic elements of Buzzcocks with me in my mind and my guitar style. And there's always used to be a little chugger than riffs. And so I had a little bit of that in mind, you know. And there was one, I think I'd written about 6 songs halfway through the album. I thought I'd have classic things, then I've got to take it on somewhere else because I want to move it on, you know. It's no good repeating what we've already done, but it's good to have some flavours of it. So the first track, Sense Out of Control, I did have a moment, I thought I'm halfway through, and I thought there's no Pete Shelley on this one. And there used to be him singing, then me and him. And I thought, I've got to change my voice a bit or change the tracks to have this roller coaster that we used to get, you know. And I had a moment where I thought, I remember that first rehearsal I was sort of telling you about, sort of that early Malcom clan. I remember us being in a room in Howard Devoto's bedsit. And we were the first like Buzzcocks band rehearsal. And I thought, I'll never have that again, you know. It's something that happens when you're young at that time, you know. That moment of innocence or whatever it is. So, with Sense Out of Control, I thought, I'll give a little nod to that. So, that sort of boredom spiral scratch fear, I try to get a bit of that on that one. And then I thought, I've got a little bit of that there, you know. It's just to acknowledge where I've come from and all those guys at the time, because that will never be there again, you know, and all that. And then I moved on with the album. But at that moment where I just stopped, I was in my shed and I was like, fucking hell, he's not here, you know. But, you know, it was easy to write the album, but I didn't want to have to keep thinking he's not there, you know, which, you know, that's when it's heartbreaking or it stops. So, you know, 1, it's difficult, and 2, you've just got to carry on in life, whatever it is, you know. He'll be laughing, going, at least I'm not going to fucking do it. They do have them jokes like that, you see, you've got to do it. Or you're doing that interview, I don't have to bother, you know, that kind of stuff.
You want to be on that bloody Reignite woman getting you on your programme. It's Friday afternoon, I should be down the pub.
Well, anything for an easy life. He was always like that, you know. Trying to escape things, you know. Very lazy, you know, in some ways. But he loved it, and I loved him for that. And I did write a song on the the Sensing Out of Control 10-inch EP. I thought I haven't got enough room on the album for these other tracks, and one of them's about the woke culture, and then the other one is called Hope Heaven Loves You, and that's a song for Pete, you know. And so I had about 15 songs, and I thought it'd be nice to write a song for him, you know. But I thought, if I think about it too much, where do you bloody start writing a song about Pete Shelley, you know?
Yeah.
But then it all came to me, you know, Hope Heaven Loves You and all that stuff, you know. Never stood a chance in life, you was always on your own. Played with a broken guitar and a two-note riff so low. Hope Heaven Loves You, you know. So I tried to, you know, do all that stuff. So I did make a song for him, you know.
Yeah. Oh, lovely legacy. Lovely,
but that's nice
lovely
as well.
legacy.
So there's still the acknowledgement, but then we've got to move on, yeah.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Now, there's some people, you know, those ones, the keyboard warriors, about 1%. Oh, they won't do it without Pete Shelley. Well, it was nobody's band in the first place, you know. Howard Devoto left after 10 gigs. And I said to Pete Shelley, look, he's left you, I haven't. I'm fucking stuck with you, you know, we're stuck together. And I don't think, you know, them two met, but I had Fast Cars and a load of songs that's, you know, Autonomy and all this was coming in, loads of them.
Yeah.
But initially they met at Bolton College. So they think we're from Bolton. I didn't go to Bolton until I was 37, so we did a gig. You know, I'm from the centre of Manchester. But now, because Howard and Pete put a notice up, and they did a couple of covers with two unknown players, and they called it Buzz. I think they did about 5 songs and we asked to get off, you know. And that's when they met me and John Marr, and that's really the proper Buzzcocks. The other thing, you know, was just a couple of Velvet Underground covers, and there was somebody pulled the plug and asked them to get off after 3 songs, you know. But then they think we're from Bolton because of that, and I'm like, I was born in, you know, St Mary's Hospital in the centre. I lived in Longsight and Bradford in Manchester. It's not far from the City Ground now. So that's my roots and where I come from. And up the road near Bellevue was Johnny Marr, who lived there. And also up the road from me was Myra Hindley, the Morse murderer, you know. So there was all there.
That's an interesting neighbourhood you were in.
Well, I actually met them.
Did you?
Before they were famous. We used to collect the bonfire wood every 5th of November. There's a lot of empty housing and stuff. So I had a plan, like in history or something. I had something about the Scottish getting up early and defeated the English. And I said, it's a school holiday. If we get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, we can nick all the wood, because everybody used to stay up late defending their bonfire wood, you know. And we'd be making guns with plastic things, or we'd just throw bricks at them when they come. Bit heavy it was, gang warfare in the street, but that toughened you up. But so it was bonfire night, and you know, there's like old cupboards and that. And I remember this teddy boy and this blonde woman came and sat down, and we was all young, you know, 7 years old. 1965 would be 10 years old. So it probably, I think we got busted in 65, so probably about 60 or 64. So I'd be about 8 or something like that. And to be honest, if the others weren't there, I would have gone, because I was getting sexually aware of those times. I nearly went, but it was about 6 of us, all these little kids. But I can remember it well. And, you know, I found out she only lived down the road. So having escaped that car crash, I was lucky I didn't get involved in that one, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of events I've been lucky, I guess, thinking about now. But yes, she was down the road.
We're lucky to have you here at all, by the sounds of it.
I know, I'm thinking that, because I forget them things. It's all in the part of the day's work of Steve Diggle, you know. But I'm thinking, people say you're lucky to do it. I'm like, fuck, I know, I'm lucky to be alive to do it with what we're talking about. Escaped a fucking explosion at a petrol station and escaped the Morse murderers.
Jesus.
Something else will probably come next, you know.
Yeah, God knows what's next.
Well, the more we keep talking, all these memories come back. You know?
Yeah.
So there was all that, but we were seeing Terry Chencher, and in our Terry Street, which I loved, you couldn't see the sky properly. And another mate of mine that lived in the street when we were little kids, the older guys told us we won't get anywhere, you know. He became a brain surgeon, I got this. But we wrote a street newspaper about them all this stuff, you know, characterised the whole street. And we had a street army with the intelligentsia, you know. So we used to have a lot of fun figuring things out like that. But,
yeah.
But that was the kind of environment I loved, that Coronation Street environment at the time. It was a bit like, you know, that northern close-knit community stuff like the East End. So I think that was great. And when they knocked it all down and put old women in, you know, 18-story flats, they soon died because they couldn't get out, you know. But it was wonderful and good fertile ground for what I was doing in the end, you know.
Yeah.
When you sat in a freezing cold bedroom and outside toilet, you still start thinking internal and you're looking at a light bulb, no distractions, you know.
God, I remember our outside toilet. Oh, Christ.
Oh, I do. Otherwise, I piss out the window sometimes.
It sounds like a better option, to be honest.
Well, I had to go down 3 flights of stairs. It's freezing cold and there's no lights there, you know.
Kids today don't know they're born.
Yeah, very Dickens anyway, all that stuff. But it toughens you up. Never thought anything bad about it. Yeah,
yeah, definitely does.
We didn't know any different. Yeah. But I remember getting a book from Oxfam, a philosophy book about saying about philosophy and that, and he was saying kind of the Greeks in Asia Minor. Now I went there a few years. I've got a Greek girlfriend anyway, so I got a Greek. And suddenly I was in Asia Minor quite a few years ago. I've been all over the place, but I mean, fuck, remember getting this book as a kid, and that would have been like going to the moon, you know. Being a conscientious objector to work, I thought I wouldn't be going anywhere. I kind of thought if I can see the sun, that's as far as I'll be travelling.
Yeah.
I'll never have enough money to go to Paris or something. But lo and behold, it all changed. I've been around the world a million times. But
there you go. You never know what's going to happen.
No,
right, well,
seeing
as we never know. No, so no, you're not. Seeing as we never know what's going to happen, now we're going to change everything. So backstage, as you know, we have our producer, Mr. Ashley Grant, who is from the punk band The Stereotypes. And he, before I start asking you the crucial and important things that we spoke about, Biscuits, he's going to ask you a few more important music questions. So I'll pass you over to a fellow musician, and then I will be back to talk Biscuits when you're done, sir.
Okay. Let's get down
over to you, Ash.
Not serious at all. My band formed in 1979 and we reformed about 5 years ago. I'll tell you the story in a bit, but basically the Buzzcocks were one of the reasons. I heard you guys on John Peel when I was about 15 and it just blew my mind. And the thing that really stood out for me, the two things were that guitar sound, that, you know, the lead guitar sound, which you've said came from the Spanish guitar, and also the backing vocals, which is almost like a shout and you're singing it. Where did that come from? What inspired you?
It just seemed to be, I mean, every song we did, it had, oh, in the background, you know.
Yeah.
It just seemed very punky. I can't remember if the Ramones even had that, because we had no yardstick, really. We'd heard the first Ramones album just as our single was coming out, but I don't think they had, you know, all that stuff.
No.
Like we had, so there always seemed a gap in the song, you know. So like, what do I get? What do I get? And then, so it's like, oh, what do I get?
Yeah.
So, love you, all of them, you know, always had the O's in there.
Yeah,
it sort of came like there's a gap there. This whole thing came, so you know, the backing vocal thing, and then it seemed to fit in a lot of the Buzzcocks, and also give us an identity with that, didn't it?
Yeah, it was very clear. very clear.
In fact, on this new album, I haven't got them on, and somebody said there's no O's on it. I thought, it's like no O's, O's,
Yeah, where's the O's? Oh dear, no,
but I left them off this time because it's a bit heavy. I want to make a heavier album and not just repeat that. I will bring some of them O's back, but I thought for this one. But a lot of our classic, let's go on that, Yeah, we're known for the O's and the riffs and all that stuff, yeah.
Oh dear, you looks like you've frozen there, Steve, but I can still hear you. So, oh no, you're back.
Eh?
Yeah. Oh, you froze for a second, but don't worry about that. Yeah, I mean, as I say, the Buzzcocks inspired us.
Yeah, it went off and come.
Yeah. So a little bit off there, but the other question I wanted to
went
ask,
off and he's back on again.
Yeah, we're back. The other question I wanted to ask was, what was it like when Ever Fallen in Love took off and it charted and everything happened? What was that experience like?
Well, we did 8 Top of the Pops. We was on before that with some other ones, and what it was like was we'd been up down the country playing to real people. And then when you was in that Top of the Pop studio, that old director thought it was awesome, being shouted at, don't look at the camera when it's on and all this, You could hear them in the tunnels, in the dressing. And I thought, these people don't know who we are anyway, you know what I mean? They're like kids that have been ushered in, the daddy's brought them in or something. It's not like when you're playing in Middlesbrough at real people like we'd done the night before or something, Glasgow. So... we used to go to the BBC bar and get completely drunk, really, and then we'd have because it was miming, So we didn't have much respect for it. But we did about 8 of those Top of the Pops, and so we never fallen. I mean, we did never fall in love. What do I get? I think Harmony in My Head, which I deliberately sang out of sync. Just
I remember.
Sang out of sync. I said, why do you think I sang out of sync? I wasn't playing the game, I was just having a laugh. But we did about 8 of them, so it seemed we was there every other week. Us and the Jam, they'd be on one stage, and we'd see them in the BBC bar on that roof, terrace thing. And I think we did about 8 of them. So with each one, it became a natural thing, really. But in the midst of that, we'd go back on tour, and that'd be like a real gig, really,
Yeah.
But I've thought about not going on like the Clash, but the others wanted to go on. And then I thought about that program myself, and I thought, as a kid, there was always at least 2 or 3 things on there. The program worthwhile, or some act you liked. Apart from the usual, all the other clowns, but looking back, that was all part of the fun, wasn't it? All them other ones.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of good to add to the program, I think, But we were very nonchalant about it. We didn't really. It's like, oh, fuck it, we'll get pissed in the bar, we'll do the mime, and then we'll go. You'd have thought, as a kid, I would have thought, like, wow, you'd think that was amazing when you're in there, but it's like.
Oh. Yeah, we lost him. I'm going to bring you back up. There we go. We'll bring you back up.
Oh dear, we seem to have lost our guest, everybody.
Yes, he'll come back.
Is he coming back?
I hope he's coming back. If not, you'll have to interview me again.
Yeah. So, Ashley, are there any new Stereotypes gigs planned?
No, but we've written. Oh, here he is. Yay!
Excellent. Yay! Thank God the talent's back. Get rid of me.
Exactly. Yeah. No. That's fine. We'll all stay here. That'll be easy, mate. Well, welcome back, Steve. Hello.
Lovely to be back. I've missed you. Second.
People have been asking for a
talent's
part
back.
2. This is it. This is the part 2. No,
That's the first half of my life.
Yeah. No, the only other question I wanted to ask was, are you now a 3-piece? Okay, I'm not sure if you can hear. You asked the question, Kath. Are they now a 3-piece?
No, we're a 4-piece.
Oh, right. Okay.
But only 3-piece recorded the album. One of the reasons for that was we're not a cod piece. No, we're a 4-piece. We've got Manny, the other guitarist, with us. Okay, he's good live. But particularly with this album, I thought, I've wrote the songs. I've got to teach them all what I'm playing. And all them riffs, I thought there's no time for that, at that particular time. I thought we've got to get in and get on with this. So, and all the riffs, a lot of them I make up in the studio, so I can't show him anything to play. And I thought, I know how the Buzzcocks riffs go. He doesn't. You know what I mean? He's a lot younger than me. He wasn't there. I invented them, me and Pete Shelley. So a lot of the riffs, as always happened, even in the old days, run the tape or run it again 3 times, and I'd come up with some catchy riff, Nice. So it's just easier for me to do that, It's like, look, I'll go in and bang it down. Well, the other two, the bass player and drummer, they was in for 2 days, and then, they're busy doing things. And I thought, that's fine. Get out of the studio and leave it to me, and I'll do the guitars and the vocals, which, it's just practical and works easy, Yeah. I've been doing it long enough. And also, we had 2 producers that pulled out for different reasons. Okay. One of them, half his family died, and the other one was moving to Australia. They're already different. So me and this Lawrence Lovelace, who owns a studio in Tottenham, which I love that studio anyway, we produced it, and we found a new good combination there, you know what I mean? But then again, by default, otherwise I would have to say to the producer, can you ask him to do that? Well, I'd just say to Loz, can you do that? And he'd go, what do you mean? And cut the middleman out. It's a lot better. And I think we got a good sound on this one,
You have.
So that's how it worked. The bass player and drummer were in for 2 days. They never heard the song. Well, roughly, but and then I did the guitars and the riffs and the vocals,
That's brilliant.
So in terms of a 3-piece, it was quicker and easy, rather than me having to show the other guy the chords. Yeah. I used to do that with Pete at the end. It's like, look, if you're playing those chords, I ain't playing on your song anymore. And I'll do me, you know what I mean? Come and do the rest. Invariably, he used to ask me, go on, you've got to play, I said, if you want to, but he don't, repeat what you're doing. But it was just a case of necessity. It's like, let's get on with this album, and all that stuff. So it was all that, really. So, as you know, you can do things in the studio. So once you've got the rhythm down, then, you can do the riffs and the vocals and stuff, and all the bits and pieces,
Yeah, that's really good.
There's that last song called Venus Eyes, and I do remember I'd been out and had a heavy drink, and I was like, fuck it. I went into the studio at 11:30 with a really bad hangover, I thought, we're on the vocals now. I said, go on, I'll give it a go, but we might have to do it again another day, And I sang it all straight up perfect in one first take, And he said, that sounds great. And I said, it felt great to me. But I wish I'd have been out one night to get whiskey and beer. So it just shows you what I mean.
Yeah.
I had a terrible hangover, but I sang the song straight off. So it just shows you, Yeah. Because sometimes you think, I'll have the day off the beer, I'll get myself right. I'll go, I'll take the honey, I'll do the exercise. Which I don't normally do, but just going in like that sort of thing, you know what I mean? So that's a memory of that hangover, and I think, fucking hell, if that's what you can get out of a hangover sometimes, that's all right.
There you go. You obviously need to get smashed every night before you.
I tried to make the album like an early, like a pre-punk 70s album, so it's a whole experience.
Yeah.
Remember them old 70s albums?
Yeah. Well, not for all the tracks, but I must admit, I won't fire off on some. There's probably a couple of times.
But I tried to make the album like the early 70s albums where it was a whole piece, not just a collection of songs, you know.
Yeah.
So it was a whole experience. Each one I wrote as part of the journey. There's the fast ones. Now we need a bit of this. Now we need a bit, you know, as I was writing them, yeah. So I thought it's like reading a book. If you start at the beginning, if you don't get to the end, you don't know what the book's about, really. So it's like an album. The trouble is with kids now, you can just pick a couple of the favourite tracks. The album's worthless, you know what I mean? So I tried to make this album as an old journey. So you kind of go, well, I've listened to all the songs and there's some sort of connection and sense that gives it the full thing, Sonics and the soul. And hopefully they take some of the, because I tried to make it a little bit darker or a bit internal, you know. On the one hand, I'm singing, on the one hand, I'm talking to people as well now, you know.
Okay.
Kind of like Bob Dylan would. Like Bob Dylan would, something like that. And I love that song Bad Dreams in there, you know, because it's got that hypnotic trance thing and a classic kind of Buzzcocks chug. And I thought when people listen to it, I thought the artist holding the mirror, they can go inside themselves, you know, with their bad dreams or their, you know, it transitions out a bit. And I'm thinking, hopefully it takes them into places. You know, I was trying to get a bit internal with it all in some ways, you know.
A bit like Why Can't I Touch It?
Yeah, it's another one.
Yeah,
well, I don't know that song's like that, but probably closer is Experimental Farmer now, which is like a bit of a group.
Oh, okay. Yeah, brilliant. That is brilliant. No, I'm
that was my chord. I thought I was listening to Rolling Stones fingerprint pile of rock and roll, and I went down to the rehearsal studio. I thought we haven't got a groove song, so I went ding 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 ding, ding, and a bit more of the day. And then the bass player and drummer joined in. The bass player put a nice bass line, and then Pete Shelley came in because he was late, and he started singing the Why Can't I Touch It. So.
Yeah, I know, it's amazing. Well, I know Kath.
Lovely song.
I know, Kath, I mean, absolute pleasure talking to you. I'm a massive, massive fan. But I know Kath wants to ask questions about Biscuits and stuff. So I'll get off and I'll let her ask her questions. So, thanks.
Absolutely. So your lightweight questions are no good. We need to debate about the Biscuits.
Quite right. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, the other one's Experimental Farm, the groove one on there. And I thought I wrote a song about, you know, the food we eat, what you're putting in your mouth. Because even though I kind of drink and smoke and stuff, you know, I always eat healthy. And I think that's important to be aware of that, you know. So during lockdown, I was in Greece and they only have about 5 books that are in English. Every time I go, I bought Robinson Crusoe this time. Because there's not much choice. And Voltaire, Candide, which I'd read.
All right, yeah.
There's like 3 stories, and I go, where's the English section? Only 5 books. So during in between that lockdown period, you know, you could fly to Greece for a bit, and then they locked it down, you know. But so I thought, fuck it, you know, I ain't got much choice, so I'll buy The Invisible Man. You've got to remember at the time, everybody's wearing those masks everywhere. And I thought, I'm reading The Invisible Man, you know. You'd seen the film, everybody knows about it. I thought, like, lockdown, you know, Invisible Mask. And then the next story in there was called Food of the Gods, you know, like 2 short stories. And the Food of the Gods, it was like some kind of scientist in London and got this substance. He went down to 2 bumpkins at some farm in Kent somewhere. Yeah. Said, if you feed the chickens this, the chickens will grow bigger. Well, the chickens did, but this substance started getting away, and I thought, this is a bit like COVID, you know, like touch the bus handle or the tube. And rats started to become bigger, and butterflies, everything, you know, the whole fucking village in the area was getting out of control. And the kids that had ate the food, they became like giants, you know. So I thought, where's all this going now? And the thing was, the kids weren't allowed back in the village because they were too tall for the village. Bit like village. I thought, where's his point? And he said, it's all them small people making the laws and rules, keeping us out of there, you know. And I thought, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So I took a lot of that for that song Experimental Farm, you know.
Okay.
Or the idea and the flavor, you know, the things of it, you know. So people getting taller, small people getting smaller as they try to break the law. Experimental form, you know.
Oh,
And then it's loads of
couple of weeks.
But that's
Couple
a
of
group.
weeks, people.
That's like
you
the
can
new
get it.
Why Can't I Touch It?
Yeah, yeah, right. I'm going to bugger
that's
off.
like the new Why Can't I Touch It, really, I think. Oh, the
Okay.
group.
All right.
Right,
I
the
cannot
Biscuits
wait.
now.
Biscuits, yeah, right. Off I
Sorry, I'm
go.
waffling on you.
No,
Speaking
you're
of
not.
food, Kath.
You're not waffling because the main reason you're here is to promote the album. So before we move to Biscuits, 23rd of September, out on Cherry Red Records, Sonics and the Soul, yes?
Yeah.
Excellent.
You can get it from Cherry Red or off our Buzzcocks merch site as well, I'm told. And probably record shops wherever they're.
And one other thing, I remember you mentioned somewhere, but we are going to Biscuits because I know our time's running out. I've already overrun the time that you said you'd give us, so I'm sorry.
Right.
Are you doing a video for Manchester Rain?
Yeah, we are. I've just seen, I saw the other day the rough version of it. It's just got,
good.
I was hoping I'd have it today. And was get on to it. It's more or less finished. It's just a couple of bits he wants to tighten up and stuff. So
fair enough.
I'm hoping, any time now. I thought I'd have it yesterday, but hoping like, he's got to finish it today or something. It looks more or less finished. It's just a couple of bits, so that should have been out really now. The end of the video. So yeah.
All right.
And it's beats to me. I was walking around Manchester. And then there's a live gig and some other bits. Being I'm the only one from Manchester, and I was there doing this gig for Pretty Green, an acoustic thing and a conversation. So they filmed a bit of me walking around, and then this other guy filmed the All Fest we was doing, and sent it all to the guy that normally does our videos because he couldn't make it. So we made it with people that didn't know what that don't normally make videos. But that footage was sent to the guy that does our videos. So hopefully any day that'll be out to Manchester Rain. But there's no rain.
To that.
The bad news is there's no rain in it. But I say it's a metaphorical rain.
Metaphorical. It's metaphorical. Anyway, the biscuits are not metaphorical. The biscuits are real. So I know everyone in the chat I know has been waiting for this part. So the question for you, we wish to get to know the real Steve Diggle, the man behind the music. So Steve Diggle, the question is, what is your favourite biscuit? Do you dunk your biscuits? And do you prefer tea and coffee? And do you like Jaffa cakes? Right, it's all yours.
Oh, you used to, yeah. Jaffa cakes a bit sickly. What are those? I kind of got into a few years back those plain digestives. The big round ones. You get the chocolate ones, but you get them plain ones.
Yeah.
I kind of like them. And as a kid, it's like crusted creams. And when you dunk them, Alpha, if you didn't catch it right, they'll fall in the tea.
Yeah.
But I don't dunk the things now, But
you're not done.
No, I don't know why now. Don't know. I mean, this is dunking disorderly, never mind dunking tea. But probably put whiskey in it now.
There you go.
No, I don't really dunk now. Occasionally I would for a laugh. As a kid, you sat there, you just come home from school those old days, and then there'd been a packet of biscuits with the bourbon, the sort of jammy dodge, all that array. And you try each one to see their dunkability, if you like. Yeah, I mean, and will this one work? Oh, fuck, it's all gone in, you know what I mean? And then some
you've got that bit where you got to get your spoon out and you got all the sludge in the bottom of the cup and you got to dig it out.
Yeah. But if you catch it right and it's still soggy and you get it, then it's a moment of triumph, isn't it? It's like, wow.
Oh, that's perfect.
Like, wow,
that is.
done it perfect. And then you get a bit clever and you say, oh, fuck, it's got to be too soggy this one. But I used to like the malted milk ones and shortbread biscuits and all that. Kind of like the plain ones. I mean, I love the chocolate digestive and all that. But sometimes getting older, it's got a bit too much going on. It's a bit too filling, a bit too, makes you feel a bit sick.
And they mess around with these things all the time now, because you can get the chocolate digestives, and then they start putting toffee in them, and then they start doing flavoured toffee, and you're like, just leave it alone.
Yeah, no, what was wrong with the original? It's like the original 60s scooters were great, and then they come out with these ones that don't look anything like what people loved, you know what I mean? A meaningless scooter, you know, like cars as well. No personality. But what's I going to say about the Biscuits?
You were telling me about Biscuit Factory. You were telling me about before we came on air.
Oh yeah, there was that as well. Yeah, my cousin worked at McFitty's, and I think Liam and Noel's mother did as well. So I did ask him once, did we have the broken biscuits? Because everybody at work there used to bring broken biscuits home, you know, which was one of the perks of the job.
Nice, very nice.
But the other thing, to be honest with the health food thing, my favourite thing is these oat biscuits, either from Planet Organic or the other one, Whole Foods, you know. They just taste really nice, so they taste a bit oaty and that. They're like a quality hobnob. They're only about, depending on which shop you go in, about £1.50 and sometimes a bit more than the other ones. And but they're really nice, simple, and it's like you can sort of taste the oats and that, you know. I know people go, oh, it's a lot more expensive, but when I have some of them older, when I go up north and see my mum and have them biscuits I used to eat as a kid, they'd you can feel they're not as good for your body. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As a kid, you don't know you should eat anything, but you know you can. But them old biscuits, I think they're called Dove Farm that makes them or something. They're nice and simple.
All right, Dove Farm. All right, we'll have a look for them then. Yeah. We're off out shopping this afternoon.
To be honest, I've had those. I never done them because I used to buy them thinking I'd give up smoking, and then eat a lot and then have a cigarette.
A cup of coffee's not the same without a fag.
No, exactly. But one of the reasons for eating the biscuits was like, oh, I need a cigarette, I'll have another biscuit. I need a cigarette, I'll have another biscuit. And then you thought, I've conned myself here, and now I'm going to have a cigarette anyway. Now I've eaten all the biscuits.
All right, so when we finished our biscuits and tea, and we've had a fag, we've gone outside. So then we've got to ask you another question. So our new segment, we're going down the pub. So Steve Diggle, we're going down the pub. What are we buying you in around?
Well, I went down to the pub at 2:30, thinking I've only been there for an hour, and I was there from 2:30 at one pub, and I went to the other pub to closing time last night, which is way too much. Yeah. But I do that a lot, and I'm trying to cut down. The reason for going early was to get... to be honest, I haven't slept all night yet.
All right. So you're looking good on it, mate.
I carried on with other things. And normally, in my local pubs here, I drink the lager and stuff. But I tend to have a lot of... When I'm full on the lager now, I tend to have a lot of whiskies, you know. Or sometimes which I'm thinking, why am I hitting the whiskey every now? You know what I mean? That's really heavy duty, you know. But it's like, oh, it's not as heavy as the lager. And quite often now I'm having whiskey chasers and the lager, you know. But now it's getting winter, though. It's nearly time for the Guinness, you know. And in the local pub, they got a fire. Which when we're going up 4 o'clock, we always get someone lighting the bloody fire and that, and it takes ages. But a nice hearty Guinness then in the winter. I've got to start moving on to that in a bit. But up north as a kid, the bitter used to be amazing, yeah. And sometimes when you go to Yorkshire, I always have some of them Yorkshire draft bitters because they're a bit like rich, like a Guinness and that. Like London bitters, like brown and watery. Up north, I tend to give it to keep us down and stop But each drink you had up north of the bitter, it used to be lovely, yeah. It used to taste lovely. And then they had them camera pubs. So way before that, as a kid, you taste it. It was like a beautiful meal or experience. And with each drink, you knew where you were or how many. You know, once you had 3, it's like, feeling a little bit drunk, or 4. You knew where he was going. Whereas a lot of this modern gassy stuff, you can drink loads of it, you don't know the difference. You just feel a bit more gassed out. You do get a bit more drunk, but it's not that quality thing, you know, in stages. With every pint up north, it's with the, and they don't really. It's not a lot of places that do up north now. I'm sure there's quite a few, but not. You know, it was a standard practice years ago.
Yeah.
You know, lager was out of the question. You know, but I think it was some Skoal advert in the 60s of somebody skiing, and there was a new thing.
Skoal adverts, I remember them.
Oh, yeah, with the skis.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, you know, both, you know, you kind of grew up on mild and bitter up north, really, in those days. And
yeah.
Then they started drinking lager, and then I probably started drinking lager in the 70s. Then, yeah, I don't know why. Well, I was about 17 in the 70s, loads of it, you know, probably too much of it.
And if you're in a pub, what kind of pub do you like? Do you just want to go down the pub, have a couple of beers, have a chat with your mates, or do you join in a pub quiz? Do you like a bit of live music? Would you ever get up on a karaoke? What's your pub experience?
Yeah, I just like talking, you know, so I can talk, you know, the local club, there could be a barrister, a plumber, a bloody bloke that chops tree, all kinds of people. I just talk to all them, you know. Yeah. I don't want to be, it's been the bane in the local pub. Every Tuesday they have quiz night, so it gets invaded and people, you know, it's only a small pub, so people have to move, you know. Or they say that table's reserved. And it's like, we're here all week, mate. You come in and have a couple of grapefruit juice and do the quiz all night, you know. All right. And then there used to be a lot of builders coming because they was doing a big thing for an oligarch who was spending £4 million a month as a budget for 7 years on this thing. He'd have kitchens built. Oh, he'd have kitchens built and come in and say, I don't like it. Can you take it out and do it like this? So when the builders had come in, while the quiz is on, we're going, shh, can you be quiet? And it became a little battle between locals and other people. And the quiz people going, shh, can you be quiet? And there was a lot of tension. Sometimes a lot of fun. But it's still a pain. You know, I don't want to be questioned when I'm having a drink. I'm there to relax. You know, you get asked questions. Some people want to know. You know, I don't give a fuck what any ape did fucking years ago. He's dead. It's all over. You know what I mean?
Fair point.
You know, and all the rest of it. You know what I mean? Especially when you're having a drink and relax. You know, what good is it me to know half of those questions? I admire people that do it, but they don't do anything else. It's like, well, who are you? And they don't know who they are, probably. You know. They're just somebody that remembers Henry the Eighth slipped on a banana skin in 1607. Yeah. It just goes on and on. And I say, if you shout Jesus at one point, or Adolf Hitler, or Henry the Eighth, Julius Caesar, you know, they're about to come up to me. But it spoils the evening because you can't talk properly now. So invariably, we leave and go to another pub. So I don't do the pub quiz. And many years ago, some farm in Kent, the guy said he had a studio built. He was a farmer, massive farm, lovely thing, and he had this studio because I think he fancied himself as a rock and roll bloke. You know, he's like, listen, mate, you've got a massive, expensive studio in your barn. You've invited down. I'd stick to the tractor really, but anyway, he gives us all this time and cooked us all his meals and. But the first few days, while the drummer was getting the drum sound with the studio guy and the guy was fit, me and Pete Shelley went down the road to the local village pub and they did the karaoke, you know. So quite often they'd always be looking for us and we'd be down there with the locals doing the karaoke rather than getting on with the album. It's like, we don't want to go back there. They've got loads of beer here and we can do the karaoke. I don't normally do karaoke that much, but it was just that we got to know the locals and there's all doing it. And I thought we should be doing the actual, you know, recording the album. It's like, I can't be bothered with that. This is a nice pub and the karaoke. used to have to come down and look for us, you know.
Can
So
you remember? Can you remember what songs you did on karaoke? Well, you didn't do Buzzcocks, and that would have been weird.
No, somebody else probably did them and sang them to us. Like, oh man, I don't know. Probably done a Chuck Berry or Beatles things or so. I don't know, whatever's on there. But I used to love it in Japan now. When we used to go on tour in Japan, you have loads of that sake, and then we'd go around them karaoke places. And that used to be crazy, you know. I had no idea what we were singing, but after loads of sake.
As long as you enjoyed yourself, it doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah, no, well, they had them in the Roppongi districts and all that. They had loads of them at one time, you know. It was like the fashion and seemed like every bar had them, you know. And so it was kind of a lot of fun because it was in Japan and that as well. It seemed a bit more of a novelty, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But I wouldn't like to go down to the local and start taking it seriously every week, you know.
But that's the thing, isn't it? When it's a bit of fun, it's one thing, but it's the people who go down there and actually take it dead seriously, and they've been practicing in front of a mirror and put on a performance, and that's when it loses its charm.
Yeah, it's only fun when somebody's drunk and gets the words wrong and have a bit of fun.
Exactly. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Once it comes regular, they start doing all the actions and holding their arms out and expressing themselves. You know,
Nah, it's not funny anymore.
No.
Listen, we have massively overrun, and I still want to ask you stuff, but you can you stay another 5 or 10 minutes?
I'll do them really quick. Really quick.
Go on.
Sorry?
We're going to really quickly fire a couple of questions at you. What were you like at school?
Trying to avoid everything. Probably a bit of a joker, you know. I knew I didn't want to be like all them. You know, I thought there was something wrong with me. I loved school, but I didn't want to leave because I thought you have to grow up into this world that don't seem like I can fit in there. Yeah. I had a lot of fun. I got fun at school. You know, I got strapped, whipped, caned, everything. Even for when things I wasn't. Well, I wasn't even there. You know. You know, because it was the same old regular people like in Kes, same old faces. You know. And I was going, I wasn't even there, sir. Never mind that old hand out. So you got strapped in it. But we used to take it then. But I enjoyed it at school. I had a lot of fun because I wasn't looking to be working in a bank or anything else, you know. But I didn't know what I was going to do. So I had a lot of fun, but I loved English and all the other stuff, you know. Well, I think I loved the school teacher, so I'd write the poems, you know. And she liked the stories. I wasn't good at grammar, but my granddad was all right. But they like the stories, you know. Might miss a semicolon or something.
Right, okay, I'm going to jump ahead then. One more. I know you've got to go. We want to round everything up, tell everyone where they can find you on social media and all that. So, do you believe in ghosts, and have you ever had any kind of experience or paranormal weirdness in your life?
It was at a mate of mine had a nursing home, this massive big farm and it had a courtyard. So we were dropping the gear off in one of his garages. We're dropping some amps off there. So we'd leave them there because it's kind of on the way something next day. And he said it used to be haunted here, you know, it used to be like a lunatic asylum before an old folks home. And it's grounded in darkness in all these fields. And me and my mate, as we walked into this courtyard, me and my mate were the last two. And as we were talking, this wind came and blew us, and a strange feeling there. We're talking, and this wind kind of blew us in. All the others were in there, they didn't see it. But me and him looked at each other and like, what was that, you know? And that, you know, I don't go looking for them things, but that's something kind of pushes in, you know, and it was like some spiritual thing. I thought, wow, that one is a bit weird, you know. So, you know, I don't go looking for ghosts, you know. They know where I am if they want me.
Yeah, exactly. They know.
I get freaked out enough. People freak me out enough.
Actually, that's one more thing. Are you easier to scare or embarrass? That's my last question.
Not really. I probably would have been when I was young, shy and sensitive, but punk rock knocked all that out of me, you know. And life itself softens you up. You think Well, there's a song on the track called "Nothing in This World." Nothing means nothing and nothing in this world, which is a philosophical statement. And what I'm trying to say now, don't worry about life, you know. Don't worry about life, really, you know. It's all means nothing. So you don't have to be that embarrassed or worry about things. And also, you're going to die at some point, so what's the point? It's the only simple ways to get you through it. Yeah. And there's some lines that they say that beauty's only skin deep, but sometimes life can make your flesh creep, you know, and nothing means nothing and nothing as well. So all that stuff.
Yeah. And that leads us nicely into the fact that you will be able to hear this album. You will be able to buy this album on CD and vinyl, I believe. Is that right, Steve?
Yes, CD and vinyl, yeah.
CD and vinyl, and that is 23rd of September. And we can get that from Cherry Red Records. And you said the Buzzcocks merch as well?
Yeah. I think it's on the Buzzcocks website, yeah.
And where are we going to see, when you get the video from Manchester Rain, where's that going to be? Is that going to go on
hopefully in the next few days. After we finish, hopefully it'll be put on YouTube, yeah.
Right,
I'll put it on my Facebook and Twitter or anything else I can get it on.
Fab.
As well, but it'll probably be on the Buzzcocks, and it'll be on my Steve Diggle Facebook as well.
All right, so if everyone's watching, the bottom of the screen there, we are scrolling across there, Steve's socials, where you can find him on Facebook, his website, where you can find him on Insta. Also, if you go to the show description, all of that information's in there, as well as the link to the Buzzcocks YouTube channel, where you can listen to Manchester Rain, which I strongly recommend you do in about 2 minutes' time when we go off air. So that's where you can find all that. That's where you can find Steve. Album out on the 23rd. Tour plan, Steve, or?
Sorry? Yes, they're putting together tours now and gigs. So just waiting to hear from that, you know.
So stay tuned to the website and it'll all go up on there.
I've just got the CD and the album myself, so first time I've listened to it. I'll have a CD in the car. I love the CD and the record.
Oh, yeah. Well, brilliant. So highly recommend, but I do warn everyone that once you listen to Manchester Rain, it will get in your head and it will not go out of your head. I've got it running through my head right now. So before we say our final thank yous to Steve, who we've kept way beyond, and thank you so much, Steve. We're coming on to, it's 3:15, 5 o'clock today in the trenches with Ryan Roxy over on Ryan Roxy Official, who is chatting to, let's have a look, Alyssa White-Gluz from Arch Enemy. So don't miss that. Go to ryanroxy.com. We will be back on Tuesday, October the 25th, and our guest will be Charlie Harper from the UK Subs. So Steve, it has been, you'll have to tune in. You'll have to subscribe now, mate. It's been a joy having you on here. Thank you so much for staying so long. I know we weren't scheduled to be on this long.
It's been a pleasure. Apologies. I'm just thinking, should I go enough? I wasn't going to go out for a drink today, but I might go. A mate of mine texted me before. I better go and have hair of the dog, haven't I? I had so much last night.
We're going down a pub. So hang on for me for about 2 minutes while. I think so. That's Reignite's driven you to drink, mate.
I know. Well, it's getting that cycle when you go every day. It's a bit. I tend to start doing that, you know. I've been working all day.
Go and have a nice orange juice and a salad down there, Steve.
I can't do that. I've tried all that, and I'm one of them. Once I have one, I have to have 10. You know, I can't go on to it. You know, that's the problem. I only went for 2 months today, and I think I'd try this.
And look what happened there.
Besides, I'm working on the next album. I've got half an album already done. You know.
Hello, seriously?
Oh yeah.
Fantastic news.
It'll be different again. There's some good new ones, but we've got to stay with this one. This is a good one, but I'm going to keep it there. I'm going to try and get it back like the old Buzzcocks days where we used to put a lot out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fun my way. We used to put a single out about every 2 or 3 months. You know, all those bands.
Still do that. Do that in the future.
Yeah. Well, we'll do a few on this. Other people like You've Changed Everything Now and all that stuff. That maybe another video. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll have a drink on it. It's not quiz night.
No, it's not quiz night. You'll be all right. So let me just say
No,
goodbye to everyone. Thank you so much, Steve, for being on the
Thanks,
show
Susan.
today.
You're
Best
very
of luck
welcome.
with the
It's a pleasure.
single and the album. Thank
Okay.
you all so much for watching. Sorry I didn't get to talk to everyone in the live chat. We did see your comments. So remember, guys, live life to the full and stay reignited. Bye all.
See.